Hey guys, just going to go over chapter 4 with you here. Hopefully you read the chapter beforehand. It's about what happens when the support and resistance breaks and how we can use that to our advantage. So let's start digging into this here. For this one we got a pound US in a 1 hour chart. Here's the buy pattern. Bar number 1, bar number 2, and bar number 3. Normally our entry would have been a little bit above the high of bar number 1, but as you can see that just did not work out at all. So we need to start looking and see what happens. We really need to start looking to see when this breaks the low of bar number 1 and we get a close, a significant close below bar number 1. And it kind of muddles around here for a little bit, and this is probably the area where you start to look and see, okay, we're going down here. We need to get an idea of what our target is going to be. So for this, we're going to start counting our horizontal grids. This is what that grid is, these vertical and horizontal dots. So we just start counting the area from bar 1 to bar 3. How many horizontal lines you see there. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so once we get a close below that, we know it's 8 horizontal lines below that. Okay, so we start counting 8 horizontal lines below that. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Down towards the bottom of the chart. And that looks pretty close. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty close. That's as close as you can get. So you have an idea of where it's going to go once that the break of the low bar number 1 occurs. As far as it being exact, it's not really going to be exact, but usually it goes at least to the equal amount of horizontal lines below the low of bar number 1 for buy, above the high of bar number 1 for a sell. I'll keep showing you some examples so you get used to this. Okay, so we got a 1, 2, 3 buy pattern here. Bar number 1, bar number 2, and bar number 3. Our normal support area did not really hold up at all. That was really much of nothing. So once we get a decent close below bar number 1, we can start figuring out where it's headed. And that was a decent close there. About right here, usually, probably what I would say is a decent close below that, so it's time to say, okay, how much further can this go down? So we have an idea what our target would be. So we just start counting the horizontal bars here. 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 1/4, but that's kind of nitpicking. So just count 4 the opposite way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take it all the way down here, and it went a little further down, but like I said, it usually go the equal amount of horizontal bars the opposite way. Pound yen on a 30-minute chart. Let's see what we got here. We got a sell pattern. We got bar number 1, bar number 2, and bar number 3. This would be where our regular resistance area would be, but as you can see, that really didn't do anything. So we need to start looking to see when we get a decent close above bar number 1. This was a little bit above it, but no big deal. I mean, when you see something like this, you go, okay, this looks like it's going to go up. So when you see something like that, it's time to start counting horizontal bars. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this 1, 2, 3 setup encapsulates 6 horizontal bars. So we just count 6 bars the opposite way to get an idea of where it's headed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's pretty good. Went down and then went up again, but that's a pretty good little run. Also, just so you can see this too, there was also a 1, 2, 3 sell pattern here, right around this area here. See that? So not only do you see when we get a clean break and clean close above the high bar number 1 where it's headed by counting the horizontal bars, but also because there's a sell right here. It's a pretty safe bet. Okay, so you got two things to look at there. Let's go to another one. Pound franc, we got a sell. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's bar number 1, bar number 2, and bar number 3. This would have been our regular resistance area, and that just did not do anything. We got a monster move up against us here. So a big close above the high of bar number 1. You know what that tells us? It's going to go up. Let's start counting. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. Count 5 lines the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Would have been our take profit here. Again, is it perfect? No, it went a little higher, and actually went a little lower. It was kind of, that must be news driven. I would only imagine, but close enough. Alright, we got an Aussie US on a 1 hour chart. With this, sometimes with MetaTrader on Sundays, there's a big gap. I don't know why it works that way, just the way it is. But that is a bar. You can consider that a bar. So we got bar number 1, bar number 2, and bar number 3. Our regular support area would be somewhere around this area here, and nothing doing. We got a big strong close over here. Good close below the low bar number 1. Must have some idea where it's headed. Let's start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then count 6 the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, pretty good. Went back up, then went back down again, but pretty much got all of that move. Alright. So hopefully this gives you an idea of what happens when support and resistance breaks. Now, what I want you to do is go do some more back testing. This time, take a look at the times that it does not work, that these 1, 2, 3 patterns do not work for the support and resistance areas. And take a look at and see where it goes. Start counting these horizontal lines like I've been doing here. And what'll make it a little easier for you, do what I did with these put these blue horizontal lines here on the indicators. It's just going to the charts menu up top here. You just put that on there, so it's a little easier for you to see across the board how these support and resistance lines breaks. And that's about it. I'll meet you over at Chapter 5.